This is Charlie Leeming. I'm with Veeam's Global Alliances organization, and I handle some of our largest cloud SaaS partners and some of our exciting emerging alliances. I am thrilled to be here with Daniel Mudimbe with Google. We've had an incredible partnership with Google over the last several years and done some very exciting things. But what I'm really excited about today is there's even more coming that I think customers are going to really love. So with that, let me introduce Daniel. Would you share with us a little bit more about yourself, about Google Storage, and maybe dive right into some of the really cool stuff we're doing together that's got customers even more excited than they were?
Yeah. So again, thank you for inviting us. I'm happy to be with you guys. This is great to actually do this live. It's been a long time. As you mentioned, Daniel Mudimbe. I basically manage all the backup and DR partners at Google Cloud. About 18 months in, and I've been extremely lucky. I've worked for some of the, best in companies, over the last few years. Netscape Communications, a lot of cloud idea, maybe a little early, but certainly the right premise. VMware with virtualization, server virtualization, which basically, fundamentally changed data center operation and data center management. And of course, the last 18 months, with Google Cloud. There are a couple of things that we're working on that's been incredible. So I think first, and this is new, we announced support for CDP, so continuous data protection, especially for DR. Customers that are looking to have very thin RPOs and RTOs, this becomes absolutely critical. So that is a massive announcement, and we're happy to having worked with your team on making that a reality. And then the second piece is, and we'll talk about the use cases, but we are now officially, we've extended the capability for Veeam to be able to sell through Marketplace. So now the key functional products, VBR, Veeam Backup for Replication 11a, VBG 2.0, Veeam Backup for Google Cloud, CASN 10, and of course, VBO, Veeam Backup for Office, can now be available on the Google Marketplace. So customers can take advantage of having a single bill and have the partner solution, in this case Veeam, apply to their actual Google commit. So great work by the teams, and that should be really interesting to your sellers as well.
Yeah, that's a lot, Daniel. It's so cool, and that's why I alluded to it. I mean, I think it's just another wave of capability that customers are wanting. So many customers want to get to the cloud, get that backup or one of the backups of the cloud. And there are critical industries today demanding more and more tighter RPOs, RTOs, and with that CDP, DR, but just every customer knowing they can go there when they need to. They don't have to go build that data center themselves. Yep. They don't have to separate the functions. So anyhow, really excited about all of it. Marketplaces, more and more customers just want to buy it that way, and so we've got that going. Simple. So that's really exciting, and I know you guys dropped a blog today on that. We'll figure out how to make sure we get that out to everybody. But maybe take us down the path, because we do have hundreds of Veeam customers using Google Cloud already. Correct. And we've taken a more concerted effort over the last year to really bring the solutions out to the market. So in a sense, the demand was already there. Now we're actually being proactive about it. Maybe you've got 1, 2, or 3 customer scenarios in mind that you could share, and then gives people a real sense for the benefit that those customers are realizing.
Yeah, so let me do 2 things. One is I want to give you a set of examples of how customers are using both of our technologies and both of our solutions. We have a great set of examples really across the globe. But also, let me just make sure that people understand exactly what the use cases are and how those customers are fitting within those use cases. So terrific. We see 3 distinct set of use cases that are critical right now, where we apply the goodness of both of our technologies. The first one is really hybrid, so on-prem to cloud. So customers have made a decision that they really want to leverage the cloud. So leveraging Veeam, VBR, Veeam Backup for Replication, those customers can basically use Google Cloud as a long-term retention option. So really using Google Cloud as a target. So LTR, perfect. It's a nice, easy fit. The software and the orchestration is there for customer to do that, and it's really easy for them to do. So it's a really low-hanging fruit, and really, your sellers and your technical sellers really should go after this as kind of like the first phase in terms of the customer journey to the cloud. In parallel, using Google Cloud as a DR target, right? So really, and this is where CDP comes into place. Customers can do snapshot depending on how critical those applications are. But if they're, again, critical tier 1 applications, must have, can't afford any downtime, then obviously CDP, DR is a great capability. So that's a great first use case, leveraging VBR as sort of the underlying functional product to deliver those services. So long-term retention and DR. The second case is, when you start thinking about customers or our customers' journey to the cloud, there's a whole bunch of them that basically have lifted and shifted their workloads to the cloud. So in a lot of instances, those workloads are running in the cloud today. So VBG, Veeam Backup for Google Cloud, then extends the data protection layer for those workloads already in Google Cloud. So that's the second use case. The third, which is really growing, and we're seeing this in specific set of verticals, but that is for customers that are going through their digital transformation. They're transforming, they're building their business in the cloud from the get-go, right?
Yeah,
no legacy stuff. And they're building using Kubernetes and containers. So Kasten then really becomes the product to provide the data protection layer for those Kubernetes estates. So those three use cases are really the sweet spot. I would definitely start with the first one in terms of on-prem to cloud. In-cloud capabilities with VBG second, and then really third, but coming on strong is really Kasten. So in terms of what are we seeing, as you mentioned, there's a bunch of customers that are using our stuff, which is great, but we're really looking to accelerate the adoption across all those three use cases. And there's a French company, 4,000 employees in the northern part of France that is building thermal clothing. And they are using, they basically are tiering, in excess of 250 VMs to Google Cloud. So leveraging Google Cloud VMware Engine, GCVE, and then obviously VBR for the data protection, and obviously GCS on the storage side as well. So big win, and in talking to them, that's just really a phase one, right? So there's additional VMs that are most likely forthcoming. A second use case is large, one of the largest software company in Canada, leveraging Kasten for their Kubernetes estate as well. And then there's a bank in Buenos Aires. Interesting case. Older Veeam customer, loves the software on the per socket license framework, upgraded to the VOL, the Veeam Universal License, opening up the capabilities to tier to the cloud, and then they're leveraging obviously GCS and GC as well as a function of that. So those are just kind of three key customers, with really representing some of the use cases that I just so mentioned, and effectively using both of the solutions together. So we're really excited now that we have additional pieces in place in terms of how far we can actually run with you guys.
Yeah, that's great, Daniel. And we could spend more time here. What we'll do is we'll make sure we get the blog out. We'll continue to get these messages out, but that, you guys have, and people think of you for Kubernetes. We've got our Kasten solution there.
Yep.
We now have industry leading, you and I have industry leading DR solutions with the CDP, and then all the classic Veeam solutions that you guys are supporting also. So anyhow, again, we could use lots more time, but I thank you for your time today. We're thrilled with the partnership. We can see the acceleration going, and as I mentioned, hundreds of customers already, and now it really feels like we're completing that solution for what that next batch of those customers want. So look forward to another banner year with you guys, and look forward to doing this again soon.
We're excited, and can't wait to come back.
All right, thanks everybody for watching the video.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for more information on the Google and Veeam relationship.